Hello and welcome to Arvoch Training Session 4. Before we jump in, we're going to talk about some stuff that I've learned since the last training session. Start with the ranges and exactly what those means. This is very helpful mentally. I don't know how well it's translating in combat for me quite yet, but the way that the different ranges and measurements function is that your forward velocity level, the FVL, is done in decimeters. Um, Whereas your range is recorded in meters, and then your distance to navigation points is recorded in decameters. But I don't know how important that's going to be to Arvoch. Very important to Evacron, but not so much Arvoch. So that does mean that if I am, say, 2,000 range out from an enemy, and I wanted to, say, close that distance in a single second, I would need my FVL to be set to 20,000. 10 decimeters per meter. Obviously 20,000 is not a distance that a ship moves that rapidly, or not a speed that a ship moves that rapidly. But that's conceptually how that functions, and it's something to keep in mind in the brain as you're moving. When I am moving at 7,000, which I do regularly, that is 700 meters per second. I could go in and mess with it, and I've thought about going in and messing with it so that they're the same distances, or so the distances are listed, or so that the different measurements are listed in the cockpit. But I ultimately decided that I'm gonna kind of keep that as a mental thing, and if I change my mind down the road, I can always do so. The other thing is, I talked about last time the distances with weapons, the range with weapons. Well, yeah, it's listed right there. So different weapons do have different ranges. However, the flare beam here is on the weaker side. If I go to something stronger like the Eclipse, it lessens the range. So really, right now, where I'm working with enemies is the farthest I can work. I need to get better at getting in even closer than I'm currently getting. We're going to continue to practice with the flare beam for now, but yeah, as the game goes on, it's actually going to get harder and harder for me to close distances. So that is another thing that I'm going to have to keep in mind. So I talked a bit in the last video about this, but I'm going to cover it here as well. In the description of the last video, to be clear, the energy cloud cuts off missile locks and shortens the range. I think that the developer said it was about 50%. Looking back at the gameplay, it looked like it was closer to 33%. I don't know for certain. But it does shorten the range of your weapon lock. I think, in theory, if I manually guided it, I might still be able to hit ships at distance. But yeah, I cannot. The lock-on does not function in the auto-targeting at the 1580 range that the weapon currently has. And then the missile lock doesn't function, so it's completely a gunfight in energy clouds. There is the other type of cloud that we're going to play around in today that's actually less of a problem, but it still affects the range of weapons. It just doesn't stop me from targeting with missiles. So that's how we're going to start today off, and then I'm going to do a run in near star, and if we have time, I'll get atmosphere knocked out of the way as well. For now, we're going to run one in nebula cloud. We are going to put on 3 enemy ships. The other thing that I talked to the developer about, he said it runs squadrons because then I can have all the ships focus on me. As you can see, they're all ferrets. That was pure luck, but I'm going to stick to it. And let's get into it.
Caution. Entering dense nebula.
Very green. Turn that inertial mode on. As you can see, my radar is not picking up enemy signatures. So this is because I don't have the range that I had previously. There we go. Now at 10K, it looks like I pick up enemy signatures in the energy cloud. Like I said, I can fire missiles. Sorry, the nebula cloud. I can fire missiles in the nebula cloud. This green effect is both like really taxing on the eyes and really pretty. I like it. Right. You can see I'm getting my butt shot off, which means I need to manage my shields better. And we are going to create some distance, recharge the shield. I have been having this problem since I switched over to squadrons mode. I need to get better. I need to get better at defensive maneuvers. Dogfight was allowing me to use enemies against each other a little too much. As you can see, those two little red circles, those are missiles. I am moving way too fast in the wrong direction, by the way. I didn't even realize. You just speed the heck back up. But now all three enemies are going to be focused on me instead of battling each other. They even move in formation. Wow, the missiles are blowing up quicker. I wonder if that is an aspect of the nebula cloud. Or just the loss of range, they're losing targeting. You can shoot down missiles, you can also use countermeasures against them. One of the benefits of inertial flight mode is heat. If you stop touching your controls, your heat will drop dramatically, and then you can just fire off countermeasures. I'm doing it again. I'm going the wrong direction, and it's making it so I can't close distance. Ooh boy. Whoa, 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 that's not good. Move. Notice that missile? Kind of floating there. I think it had lost target range. Down. Got one. Okay, now we're gonna create some distance. Let the shields recharge. Yeah, fighting 3 enemies at once is a significantly harder gambit than one at a time. Yeah, or down. Do want to be sweeping down though. Forward direction. Oh, shoot. Me. Not gonna be close enough. Close that distance. If that'll hit. Yeah! Alright. Not doing so bad here. I forgot to change the time limit. Pay attention to that when I get back in. You don't want to be firing missiles at long distances in these clouds. I'm noticing that there's self-destruct very soon. Like, what was that? I'm pretty certain that guy fired a missile and didn't have a target lock. That's my guess. There we go. So I actually really liked the nebula cloud there. That was an interesting fight. I feel like you can kind of use the environment to create and shorten distances. And have a real chance at pushing back against the enemy. For the next one, are going to increase that time limit just in case I get caught in a be flying too fast sort of battle. We're going to go to the nearest star. Stars are bright as hell, and it does make the combat difficult. So we're going to get tossed into the middle of that. There's also going to be a constant gravity pull on the ships. It's not the worst thing to deal with, honestly. It's not like being an atmosphere, where I often end up turning on the IDS. No, it's like a small, usually 300 FVL pull towards the star at all times that you need to be aware of, but it doesn't disrupt a lot of what you're doing, in my experience. All right, we're diving in. There is our bright light, and there's our enemies ahead. As you look down, you'll see it's a 600 currently. 600 is the gravity pull. That's that green number down on the HUD next to set. And so we're gonna counteract that. My own. And it's such a small number that the joystick I tend to overshoot quite a bit. We can also just do this. We need to turn on inertial mode. That is why I'm doing so much. Alright, we're into it. Need to be aware of that pull. You're going to see these missiles are going to do a lot more than they did last time. Oof, that was my fault. Energy back towards shields. Alright, we need to get out of here. Part of the goal is to be unpredictable. Also, you'll see that there's an asteroid field. I didn't know that was near this star, but it does have some uses if I want to get some cover. Shields fully recharged. Energy back into weapons. Missile incoming.
Alert, inbound missile.
You. Far away. Perfect. Part of what I end up doing, I don't know if it's good tactics or not, but I end up making the enemies waste their missiles. Alright, now, that out of the way. That energy back into shields. Charge. Trying to redirect upwards because I want to actually move through the asteroid field. Be using this to my advantage for cover.
inbound missile.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we don't have enough for energy. Now he's making me shoot into the sun. Now the targeting does sort of account for that. Like it's going to auto aim, so the sun really isn't necessarily in the way, but it's still very unpleasant to fly through. Ink. That hit. That one hit. Both weapons. Take this out. Yeah! Alright. That's what a battle looks like near the star. Like I said, you've got that gravitational pull, but you almost don't even notice it in the combat. It is something to account for, especially if you're trying to sit still. It's not a good idea to sit still when you have gravity pulling. But it's not a massive disruption. So we are going to do an atmosphere battle. Now I've played a couple of these, and what I've noticed is you're very much above the planet. You're not going to be diving into the planet a whole lot. I'm going to try and drag my enemies into the planet in this combat. One, I think it's better practice for weird situations where you might be doing a battle over a planet. And two, it controls the flight patterns. So you're going to fly more like a jet when you're over the planetary surface. And then I can also use any sort of terrain or anything to my advantage if I can keep my enemy low enough. Go ahead and jump into this one. I didn't check the enemy ship types, so hopefully they're all still not too overpowering. First thing that we're going to do, turn off our IDS. Rules inside atmosphere. Once you're actually in there, as you can see, we are not in there. There is no gravitational pull on my ship right now. Once we're in there, we need to keep under 3000 FVL. So I usually do this by setting my IDS to a certain point, just under the 3000 mark, so that I can't fly over it when I have IDS mode on.
Alert, inbound missile.
Either already firing missiles, we're going to dodge that missile, we're going to do this, we're going to shut that off and drop countermeasures, and then I am going to try and drag these guys into ammo.
Caution, entering gravity field.
Don't want to go too fast. Fire our own missiles at them. Sort of a, hey, come play with me.
Avionics switched to planetary mode.
Okay, we're going to turn on our IDS. still following me. They are still way up there right now. So one of the things that I can do, come up. I can dive kind of in and out of the gravity well if I need to pull some attention. I'm gonna do this. Mess up his day. Going back in. We're gonna pump some power to the shields. This is another thing about gravity wells. If you do need to go fast in one, you can put power to your frontal shields, and they will help protect up to certain speeds. So I actually I haven't yet. Weird. I was definitely expecting to. It looks like the planet's dark right now, right? So the sun's probably on the other side of it. We're gonna do. There we go. Get where my controls are. Now that missile's coming at me. Looks like I got it off my butt. All right. That one hits. Okay, now I need to be. Where are my shields?
Alert, inbound missile.
Those are gonna hit me. Alright. Those hurt. Those hit my hole. I lost that. So it's a lot harder to dodge missiles in atmosphere, especially when your opponent's above you. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this one smart. And if I can, it'd be kind of cool to pull people into the gravity well, but I'm not gonna make it my priority this time. If I just shoot these guys down over the planet, then that's what happens.
Caution, entering gravity field. Caution, entering gravity field.
Oh, there's the gravity. Okay. Right. pal. Alright.
Caution. Entering gravity field.
This time we're dipping more into the gravity well. There seems to actually be an effect on our ships. Still not down there, you know? I don't know if this guy has any missiles left. I don't. And he's making it really hard to close distances with him. Means I'm gonna end up overshooting. Go. That shit to me. Would have been really cool if I'd shot him down there. It was a very cool maneuver. There we go. Made that chase hard at the end there. So this is the last 3 location options. And I think that I'm getting... Well, I am getting a lot better at my angles and my speed management. So next training session, we're going to be moving into squadron and strike modes where I have allies, and then we'll be working that. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to see the series continue, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, hope I see you around. Bye.